So this year I'm really wanting to improve my journaling. I really just want to have a nice reading journal this year, but I also don't want to go out and spend a bunch of money on a hobby or an activity that I haven't proven to myself that I can keep up with. So these are just little pictures of my TBR, and they're, as you can see, I went on to change the date because these are carryovers from 2023. Last year I changed the date to 2024. This year I changed the date to 2025, but I missed a couple of them, so it doesn't matter. I'm just keeping them as is, and I will update the dates at some point. So I'm going to be gluing these into my reading journal, and I know the journaling girlies have the really cool journal glue, like journal glue sticks that don't make the paper kind of bulky. But like I said, I don't want to spend a lot of money on this. This is just a place for me to keep track of my plans, and I'm going to use what I have. That's the goal. Friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another mid-month book bash-ish vlog. So it is Monday, which means it is day 4 of the mid-month book bash. If you're not familiar, if you didn't watch my previous video, then you may not know that this is a readathon hosted by Doris over at Aldi Books, and every month, the weekend around the 10th of the month, so usually the second weekend of the month, I think always the second weekend of the month, she hosts a readathon which encourages you just to read more. We may be in a little bit of a slump because of all the reading that we did to finish up books for the end of the month. If you're one of those people who don't like carrying over books from one month to the other, especially because of the end of December, you may not have wanted to carry over a book from 2024 to your 2025 reading. And so it may take you a little time just to start reading again in the new month. So around the second weekend of the month, it's time to think about, well, where am I going with this month's reading goals? And so it's a little opportunity to focus and read more. So far, I have finished one book this weekend, World of Wonders in Praise of Fireflies, Whale Sharks, and Other Astonishments. This for me was like my ideal read. It was short, it's 165 pages, so I feel like it is the perfect length to dive into a book, really feel immersed by what you're reading, and then be able to exit and say, I love this, time to move on to something else. The author is the daughter of immigrants. Her mother is Filipino, her father is Indian, and she grew up in Midwestern America. Both her mother and father worked in the medical field, and so she moved around a lot. And I love how this author finds points in nature to reflect her own personal upbringing. So nature helps to ground and center her when she has to transition to a new place, but it also helps orient her as she has to move again. So moving as a child, and then also finding herself moving a lot as an adult, as a teacher, professor, and like I love how she reflects her life on nature. So this was delightful. I read this because of the Book Naturalists Book Club, also hosted by Doris from Aldi Books and Heidi over at My Reading Life. They share a different nature book every month and invite everyone else who enjoys nature writing to participate. And so this year they're rereading books that they have read and loved in the past. And so this one is definitely on my list of books that I would reread. So I love that it is small and that is illustrated, but not everything is illustrated. Like it gives you little pictures, a little introduction to some of the aspects of nature that are discussed in the book, but also gives you places to go and do your own research. This is a plant that I found really familiar. Mimosa pudica, I think, was the first scientific name of an plant or animal that I ever learned as a child. So I was delighted to see it in here. This is the Touch Me Not plant, which when you run your fingers on it, the leaves close up. And I love how she points this back to her own life. So yeah, finished my first book for the reading weekend and I love it. I'm going to share with you a book that I just got in. I don't know. I'm looking for my next read and I have a long, extensive TBR, but I also have some other books that I have on the go. So I don't want to add another fiction book. I am looking for something else that is going to be nonfiction. So let's see. Penguin Random House just sent me 2 books. Let's share with you what they are. Are any of these going to be my next read? The Book of Fire. Ooh, Christy Lefteri. This is a novel. Love it. And Tidy Up Your Life by Tyler Moore. This is the creator of the Instagram sensation Tidy Dad, rethinking how to organize, declutter, and make space for what matters most. This may be the book that I pick up later today. So you'll have to stay tuned if you want to see if I read this book and what I think of it. So this is the pack of stencils that I bought. We got 24 stencils for about $8. Some of the plastic, what do you call this, the material, some of them are a little thicker than others, which I think is probably necessary because the weight of the plastic is a little different for some of them. Some of them are thicker than others. It's $8 and we got 24 designs. It came with this little ring that you can use to keep them. So I love it. I love it. My daughter loves it. And this is my daughter making her little journaling pages. Look at this crown. She was so excited when she did this. She said, my crown has hearts on the top. I'm so impressed by her. She even wrote my name. Love it. Couple of things I want to record today. I want to record this review or discussion of this book because it's been lingering since Nonfiction November. We read Zami, New Spelling of My Name, a biomythography by Audre Lorde for the Runwright Reads Book Club. So I'm going to film my review today so I can return this book to the library, finally. It was such an enjoyable book and we had a book club discussion on Zoom, but I just never filmed the video on here. So let's do that now. I'm also doing this challenge on Instagram/TikTok where I'm filming an outfit every day and matching my book to it. So it's a 75 hard style challenge, which none of my outfits right now are very stylish just because it's really cold. But it's motivating me to actually put on something other than my loungewear every single day. So got to film those videos and post them. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok, until January 19th when the app may or may not get banned. So I started Family Lore by Elizabeth Acevedo and I'm about 100 pages in. I bookmarked the section that I wanted to read to you. So it is about the women in a family and all the women have some magical gift. So here's how the narrator describes it. She says, my nanny's magnetic pull, and she's talking about her female parts. That's what she's referring to as her nanny. So she says, my nanny's magnetic pull is my little form of magic. Yadi, who's her first cousin, has her taste bud altered relationship with limes. So she makes a vegan key lime pie that has people salivating. And it is a gift that she inherited when I think it was her grandmother had passed away. So Yadi has her taste bud altered relationship with limes. Tia Pastora, so these now are the next generation, the aunts and our main character's mother. So Tia Pastora has a shrewd sense for what people do not mean and an unhealthy ability to be the last person still chewing at a Brazilian buffet. That's an aside. Tia Matilde carries a little bit of sadness in her eyes until music comes on. Then it's like you could almost picture her pressing jojoba oil to the bottom of her feet, the way her soles glide across any surface and transform it into a dance floor. And then Tia Camila could take one look at your eyes or place fingers to your wrist and concoct a tea for something you didn't know you need healed. And there's Mammy. Mammy Flora knew the exact hour her mother was going to die. So in that generation of women, we have a truth teller, a dancer, a healer, and someone who can predict death. And all of this is leading up to a living wake where someone who is still alive is calling everyone to come and celebrate her life and it is causing everyone to think about their relationship with each other, but also about the truth of their family. And so I'm really, really enjoying this. I love family sagas. I love books by Caribbean authors. You know that. I'm here for that kind of story. So I'm going to keep reading this one. I'm not sure how much time I have, if I'll be able to finish it before the vlog is over, but just in case I don't, I will still make a full review of this. So you'll hear me talk more about this one on the channel later. Is it weird to read a book about tidying up your house while you're sitting in your car? I don't know, but that's what I'm gonna be doing. I just got this book from the publishers, so let's see if I can't zoom my way through this book quickly. I don't want to say today, but you know, quickly. So Tyler Moore, the author, is the creator of the hugely popular Tidy Dad accounts on Instagram and TikTok, as well as the Tidy Dad website. So I looked him up to tag him when I posted this on TikTok. He is a public school teacher in New York City, Queens, specifically Queens, New York, which is where we are. I started reading the introduction to the book and I found his story, like the way he presents himself, I found it to be really relatable. And he has daughters, which for us translates to a lot of girly stuff in the common spaces. So I think I'm going to enjoy reading this one. So thank you so much to the publishers for having sent this to me. This one, the author has said some things that are really resonating with me. There's some strong similarities between his journey as a teacher and my husband's experience. So I'm loving reading about that, as you know, being written by someone else. Definitely validating my love and appreciation for who my husband is, but also some of the things that he is talking about in his school experience, his school life, are also mirroring things that my daughter is telling me about her school experience. Like there's this activity that they have in my daughter's classroom called Choice Time, where if they've done their work, they get some freedom to do more of what they'd like to do. And I love how he says you have choice time. You have two opportunities for choice time. If you take your choice time when other people are following the rules, then when everybody else gets some downtime, then you have to sit in the back and do the work, catch up on the things that you didn't do when you were supposed to. So I'm loving this. One of the, I guess, strong takeaways from this book thus far is that he is definitely, you know, it's a tidy up book. He's focusing on decluttering, but he talks more about the process of decluttering your mind before you can declutter your physical space. Like you have to come to grips with what it was that caused you to have a mess in the first place before you can get rid of it. Because if you don't get rid of the tendencies, then clearing up the physical space means that it will just start the process all over again. So I'm really enjoying this. He's talking a little bit about routines and making conscious decisions about how you want your life to be. For him, it meant stepping back from some of his work responsibilities so he could focus on the big picture part of his life, his family and his mental health and so on. So I'm loving this. Don't want to rush it, so I will definitely give you an update when I'm done. This may be a single book review as well, so stay tuned for that sometime soon. So don't judge me. I have 44 books out from the library, but I'm going to be returning some of them today. Here's what I'm going to be dropping off. Most of these, as you can see, are books that I checked out for my daughter. So I'm bringing these back because we read these over the weekend. We read these over the Christmas break. She did reading logs on all of these. So now we can add them to her. These are from last year. A couple of these are from this year, and just need to add them to my Excel spreadsheet that I created for her. And then these are the books that I'm returning for myself. I've had this since Nonfiction November. This was the beginning of a series. Read this one, and then I had planned to read this at some point. I'm bringing it back just because I don't know when I'm going to get to this. And what's interesting is I think I have a copy of this book, but I always thought that my copy was abridged because it's so short. But this looks like it's about the same length as my copy. Dubliners by James Joyce is on my list of books, my classics and backlist TBR. So I think I'm just going to look for my copy so I can read it from my shelves and be able to cross off a book on my shelves, because that's one of my reading goals as well. So returning this in the meantime because I don't think I'm going to be reading it anytime soon. But let's go to the library. You know you're using up your library card when you got to use the big bag to transport your books. So here's a quick little library haul. I got these books for my daughter. 1, 2, 3 of 1, 2, 3s of Kindness, Andy and Sandy's Anything Adventure. Jordan is ready because you know we love to find a book with a black main character on the front. Ty's Travels, Camp Out, because we are always thinking about camping. Right now my daughter is really into Frozen, so found this one, Big Snowman, Little Snowman, and even though her reading level is above reading level 1, I like to find these easier books that she can read, dip in and dip out really quickly and be able to complete her reading log for her assignment, because sometimes when she comes home from school she's tired. And then here's another one, Field Day, another book with a black main character, and another one, King and Kayla and the Case of the Lost Tooth. And for me, I picked up another Kennedy Ryan book, Be Mine Forever. I think this is a continuation. I think this is book 2 in that series that I returned earlier. And then this is going to be a Runwright Reads book club selection later this year. But I saw it on the shelves and I figured, why not read it now? I volunteer as tribute to read the book before book club. So that's what I picked up from the library today. So it's Tuesday afternoon. I'm going to end the vlog here because the mid-month book bash is really Friday to Monday. Doris always talks about extending the readathon as long as you need to, and so I did. But I don't think keeping you on here is going to make me finish any other books tonight, just because I'm picking up my daughter from school and I promised her that when we got home we would do something special together before I have my Zoom meetings later. So in short, I won't be able to vlog much more later, so might as well end it now. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this one, and maybe later this week I'll do a day in my life where I just vlog for one day and show you the books that I'm reading then. So all in all, I think I did really well this weekend. I finished one book, which was a big one. It was a little book, but it was on my TBR for the Book Naturalists Book Club. I read World of Wonders by Amy Nezuka Matathil, and you know I loved it. I started this one and I was loving the introduction to the family with the five women that were reading about 3 daughters and their 2 children who are first cousins. And I didn't read much further after I spoke to you, but I did end the first section. Sunday until the wake is where I am at, so I figured I'm not gonna finish today. But just drop my bookmark. We'll come back with an update in a future video, and I hope you join me for it. Until then, happy reading. Bye.